Dr Hilary joins us now. Very good morning to you,
Morning,
Dr
Susanna.
Hilary. Let's try and reassure pregnant women this morning, and also parents of autistic children who might think, did I cause my child's autism by taking paracetamol? What the President and particularly the Commissioner of the Food and Drugs Administration in the States seem to be saying is, and let me quote it here, "Sure, you'll find a study to the contrary, that's how it works. But to quote the Dean of the Harvard School of Public Health, there is a causal relationship between prenatal acetaminophen use, which is paracetamol use, and neurodevelopment disorders of ADHD and autism spectrum." They are saying there is a causal link. Now, other experts say there is a link, but it's not a cause. And that's the distinction that has to be made.
Well, if you look at all the studies that have been done, robust studies, peer-reviewed studies, published studies, all the evidence shows that there's no causal link. And even the head of the National Autistic Society is saying that this is unsubstantiated evidence, that it's dangerous pseudoscience and it's irresponsible. And a very important quote from a professor in social and developmental psychology said that she says she's exceptionally confident that there is no link, and for a scientist of that calibre to say that is quite extraordinary. All the evidence of all the studies that have ever been conducted shows that there is no proven link or even suggested.
Well, we can talk to responsible people like you till the cows come home, frankly.
Yeah.
The damage has been done.
Yeah,
sure.
Exactly.
There are going to be
The doubt
probably
has been
millions
raised.
of pregnant women now who would happily have taken a paracetamol for a fever, who will now do almost anything not to.
We have to remember that paracetamol's been around for 100 years, and it is still considered the most effective and safe drug for high fever and for pain in pregnancy, which will continue. Those conditions will continue. What are we going to give those women in pregnancy? Can we reassure them that it's OK? Now, it's always been the case that we say use any medicine in pregnancy judiciously, with medical supervision and advice. Use it for the shortest duration of time. Use it in the minimum dose necessary to ease the symptoms. And if we do that, I would say, and all of the experts are saying, that's the MHRA, it's the National Autistic Society, it's the, you name it, the Department of the College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists saying, carry on doing what we say on the NHS website, that it's OK to take paracetamol and don't worry about this.
A 2024 study of 2.5 million Swedish children, led by scientists from the eminent Karolinska Institute, found no association, zero association between paracetamol use during pregnancy and children's risk of autism.
Right.
However, if you have a
suggests...
fever during pregnancy, you probably need to take.
Absolutely, because that in itself can be harmful to the unborn baby. Let's remember that when they've done sibling studies, they look at the data in siblings, fraternal twins in utero, both of whom have been exposed to paracetamol because the mother's taken it, and if one gets autism, you'd think the other one would if it was paracetamol, and that's not the case. It's absolutely not the case. So there are many multifactorial genetic, predominantly genetic causes of autism compared to environmental factors like medicines and other things.
Just in a sentence, as a doctor, when you watched the President making those remarks yesterday, what was your reaction?
Well, I'm horrified. I mean, remember, this is a President who was saying, let's use intravenous bleach to treat COVID-19. And why is a President of the United States not listening to his medical advisors? In the US and in Europe and the UK, the vast majority of experts are saying, look, this is nonsense, it's pseudoscience, it's not based on robust evidence, carry on doing what we've been doing and don't worry.
UK's National Autistic Society describes President Trump's statement linking paracetamol to autism as dangerous and irresponsible.
British medical experts have also expressed their deep concerns after the President and his Health Secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., made an address from the Oval Office yesterday urging pregnant women to stop taking the painkiller, except in cases of extreme fever. Well, we're joined now by Mel Merritt, who's Head of Policy at the National Autistic Society. Good morning to you, Mel Merritt. Did this come as a complete shock to you? Had you been aware prior to yesterday's statement from the Oval Office of any serious concerns about a possible link between paracetamol and autism?
There are no concerns of the link between paracetamol and autism. It's not based on science, and there is no evidence of that case. It's been well researched, and there is no link, and just like there's no link to vaccines. So the concern isn't founded. It's just pseudoscience. It's sound bites. Do not listen to this advice, and this is not to be taken seriously.
One of those that, in effect, the President was quoting yesterday is someone called Andrea Baccarelli, who's the Dean at the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health in America. And they've said this: to the possibility of a causal relationship between prenatal exposure to Tylenol, the biological evidence does seem to link it to neurodevelopmental disorders, including autism. Further research is needed to look into this, but based on existing evidence, I believe that caution about, again, Tylenol use during pregnancy, especially heavy or prolonged use, is warranted. What would you say to that?
That's against the face of lots of more detailed scientific evidence. And you just said it there, you need to, it needs more research to be able to make that link, and research has been done and that link hasn't been made. So this isn't to be taken seriously. This has to be taken for what it is, which is scaremongering, and it's putting pregnant women and children's lives at risk, and it's stigmatising autism. So it mustn't be taken seriously.
Do we know what causes autism, Mel?
The research into this, and there's been lots of it, and the strongest indications that it's genetic, and that's where you can see patterns in families, and there are some, and so that's the main thing that has been found. There isn't one definition of it, there's not one cause of it, and to say there is again, just lies, not based on science.
It's very obvious from your demeanour this morning that you're very angry about this. What aspect of yesterday's statement makes you the angriest?
I'm angry that we're talking about autism and we're talking about the rubbish that was said yesterday. We're not talking about the huge challenges we face for autism, to make people feel accepted, to tackle that autistic people face prejudice, that autistic families can't get the services they need, can't get the education for their children, can't get a diagnosis. It takes 14 months to get a diagnosis if you're lucky in this country. And we should be talking about those challenges and not this nonsense, because when we look at what happened with the vaccines, and the claims got repeated yesterday, not based on any science, those claims stick and they have real impacts on people and real impacts on their health.
Are you concerned that there will be mothers watching this who have an autistic child and who took paracetamol during pregnancy, who will be in some way, shape or form blaming themselves now?
Yeah, there'll be people waking up this morning who feel really guilty because of these claims, and they shouldn't be. There's no basis in science for this. These claims are not true. They do not need to feel that way.
And what about, I know what the answer is going to be, but what about a pregnant woman who, this time yesterday, before this statement was made, woke up with a splitting headache and took a couple of paracetamol and is now feeling incredibly frightened?
That's a really worrying position to be in, but don't follow advice from the American president. Follow advice from health professionals and from the NHS, who say it is fine to take a paracetamol.
Mel Merritt, Head of Policy at the National Autistic Society, thank you very much indeed for joining us this morning.
Thank you for your time.
Medical experts here and doctors like yourself rushing to reassure pregnant women who may very well be asking themselves, should I take paracetamol?
Absolutely.
when
Experts
I'm pregnant?
queuing up to refute what Donald Trump and his administration have been saying. People in obstetrics and gynecology, professors in social and developmental psychology, the MHRA, the Royal Pharmaceutical Society, I could go on, the list is endless. But medical experts, both in the US and in Europe and the UK, all saying, actually, there's no causal link that's ever been proved between paracetamol and autism, and it's completely wrong to stigmatise families with autistic children by suggesting that they've done something that's caused this in their children. So, you know, there is a lot of furore about this this report.
And understandably, there are going to be pregnant women watching this who woke up yesterday morning and maybe with a severe headache and took a paracetamol and are now feeling terrible about it.
And they shouldn't. They should feel fine. That all the NHS website remains the same. The evidence is that if you've got a high fever, if you've got a headache, you've got a pain and you're pregnant, it's safe to take paracetamol. It's been around for 100 years. And all the evidence, all the robust evidence shows no causal link between paracetamol and autism. Autism is a multifactorial causology, so there are many, many different types of autism. No two people with autism are the same. It's likely to be largely genetic, that they've identified hundreds of genes which are associated with autism. There are other environmental factors for sure that might play a part, but we don't yet know enough about those, and we do know that paracetamol is safe when it's used
Hilary,
correctly and
thank you.
appropriately.